Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, let's go over some technical analysis for Meta, Google and Microsoft stocks. We have done a video a week ago on them stating that these were getting close to the support region and now it's time to review them again. Let's discuss quickly what are the support, resistance and current trend with price predictions for these stocks in the next couple of weeks based on technical analysis. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe for more stock analysis. Like and share this video if you. Now let's go into the video. Let's just look at SPY first before we jump into the stocks. We are up about 1% on the day. Good start to the week overall. If you look on the weekly, we just created an engulfing candle on the weekly last week, which is an extremely bullish candle. As we all know, we have bounced from the support here around 389, 388. So that's where we have bounced off of. That is your support with this engulfing pattern forming here, and the resistance probably to the long side. To break this downward trend, you may want to take out this high here at 430. But if you look at the trend here, overall long-term trend throughout the year, we have been quite we have formed a quite downtrend, which is very evident. And if we only break this 430, that's when we can say that the price might be moving to the ups here, maybe towards the end of this year. But the first pivot or resistance in the near term I would want to point out is at $420. Here we have a clear resistance. We may first face that resistance throughout this momentum move. We may actually find resistance there even if we go to the upside. Maybe we might see some slight resistance even here at the 200 EMA, which you want to keep in your mind when trading. Okay, so these are your key levels on the SPY to either have an opinion towards the long or the short side whenever you want to trade. But let's quickly go to Google first. So before we jump into technicals, let's just go over some key news or key things that we want to discuss to have some perspective. Let me quickly open that up. Okay, so if you look at it, so recently we did see some bounce. We made a video recently where Google would be ideal to purchase from the support region, and supporting that we have some hints from the CEO at a goal of about 20% productivity boost for Google company, Alphabet, and company spinning off a somewhat secretive startup called Aliria. I'm not sure how do you pronounce that, but it is kind of still scarce the data or information on it, which manages it is supposed to be managing communications networks for land, sea and space. You can just find some more information online. It's very scarce, but that did help Google to bounce a little bit, along with it reaching technical support area as well. We will be going over the technicals later on, but the company would be looking at a massive EPS boost after Q2 of 2020 profits were flat year over year, despite generating 8 billion in higher revenues. And this stock is already cheap at 15 EPS targets, but the 20% productivity boost would definitely make the EPS at 11 times, which means that it's going to get more cheaper, which probably might not happen, and the investors might jump in to push the stock higher to maybe even keep it at 15 EPS. Let's just go over some technicals and see how things are looking for Google. So previously, if you have seen the video, we have had the support at 305, even lower if it was pushing lower, but around 304, 305. But the stock did bounce off of the news and some the market bouncing. We have only been able to come down to 106.5, and now we have broken the resistance here at $112. We pushed that today, but the stock did not. There is a very clear indecisiveness in terms of longs and shorts. We have created a clear doji candle here. You can even call it maybe a butterfly, dragonfly, whatever this is, this small doji to the upwards. So this is still not clear which direction it wants to go, but at least the sellers who are present back in this highs must be taking, you must be wanting to cover. All right, and also we were so close to the support, and the longs must be packed here. And what am I expecting from Google? If we continue this trend, we must be able to easily cruise to this 120 level. Let me draw a horizontal resistance line. So this would be your ideal target, if not more, if the market pushes harder. But here you may find some form of resistance at 417, 418, because that again is a key pivot point. But this would be your ideal target around $120 if you're long since this support region. But if that breaks, you again have to count for $100 range as your actual support. If we still move to the downside, this would be your long-term support at $100, both as psychological level and also technical level. All right, so these are the things that I notice, and this white trend line is the 200 EMA. Maybe we may face that around here at $120 if you're moving forward. All right, and also the stock is definitely below all the moving averages. The price currently sitting at $112, but we may first have to take this 50 EMA, the green trend line, out to make to this 120 highs. So let's move to Microsoft. All right, so let's just go over the news again to see what has changed, what it looks like. So for Microsoft, production challenges in China, currency headwinds, and reduction of operations in Russia is why Microsoft stock has lost a notable portion of its value so far this year. Despite macro headwinds, Microsoft's cloud business continued to grow rapidly and expanded its market share. Microsoft cloud revenue increased 28% year over year in Q4, and for the first time, quarterly cloud revenues exceeded 25 billion as per Tigris financial analyst. Ability to deliver solid shareholder returns through dividends and share repurchases also add into the value of Microsoft. As you all know, this is not a small company, it is a large cap company, has been established very well. We know what are all the good things about the company are. Now let's just jump into the technicals to find out how these are reflected and what are the key price levels to watch out for. First, let me draw the support line, the horizontal support line. We see that the stock was able to bounce multiple times from this $250 mark, which is a psychological level, both psychological level since the initial drop, and we did do a peekaboo down here, which again now the stock is only there is only a couple of times the stock was I would say three times the stock was below this $250 mark, and all the other times the buyers did come ahead and take the stock up. Now we are definitely at a resistance level here around at $270. You want to keep an eye out for that. Maybe along with the market, the stock either might consolidate or drop back down a little bit before it pushes higher. But overall sentiment is definitely bullish, as every investor or every long-term investor is trying to invest into the stock market and trying to take these cheaper prices for all these large cap stocks. So here you have two key levels. One is at 250, that's going to be your support. 270, which is going to act as resistance going into this week. And the longer term, along with the market, if we are able to break this trend, we must if the market breaks the downward trend, maybe the Microsoft stock should also follow the market breaking this downward trend. So let's go ahead into Meta and see how things are there. For Meta, investor sentiment is still that shares of Meta platforms are fundamentally undervalued. Again, similar to Google, the 15-time earnings multiplier is too low considering Meta platform's enormous reach of the platform and free cash flow. It's not a small company. Again, the 15 times earnings because of the entire market sentiment being very bad right now. We are seeing all these lower numbers. Before that, they were trading very highly, all these large cap and also the growth companies. Stock buybacks could make a difference and drive an upward re-evaluation of Meta's shares. So we all know these companies do have a big purse. They might actually come in back and buy those shares back at these low levels, because Meta, I remember the shares were being purchased by company around these levels, maybe around 370s, $350 mark. So if they come back in, try to purchase them here around this to one mid 100s, maybe around 200, that would definitely should be a good thing for investors as well, especially long term ones. So let's look at the key price points, what I'm looking at here. So the first one is at 154, the $150 mark, similar to how Microsoft's 250 or any other psychological level is. 150 is your key psychological level. We have seen multiple times that stock being bouncing here in the recent times, but previously we have seen one time, and after the stock's price moving this high up, we only saw a couple of times where the stock had gone below that. During the COVID also, we have seen COVID lows were around 135. All right, so if you look at the weekly chart, we have definitely created an buy setup here with double bottom, I would say, because you can argue it may not look that clear, but if you really see, oh, let me delete that, sorry about that. If you really see, you have created one bottom, you bounced up, second bottom. You can even argue here this could be a third bottom on the weekly, because it definitely did have a push up. So yep, I think we have created an engulfing here. I don't expect the stock to drop below that. If it drops below, again your support is going to be much lower, around these levels, $120, $130 mark. So until then, you must be able to hold these levels to push to the upside. All right, let me just draw a trend line, which is post earnings, the devastating earnings had happened. So this trend needs to change for the stock to maybe move back up to 230s again. So let's just keep an eye out on that. On the daily, let's see if there is a resistance coming up. We have definitely, let me just remove the drawings. We have definitely created, broken the previous high, have we? Yep. We did take out that high, but created a wick here. If you even look at the 5-minute chart, right? So today we did have an interesting session. We have gapped down, went back up, created that, tested that resistance, came back down. This area, definitely bears have won, pushing the stock down and consolidating throughout the day. So if we can hold this level, if you're a day trader, maybe this level will still act as significant or support point for day trading. If it holds, you may act, and also this 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Okay, so that could also act as some form of support, trying for maybe push above this $170 mark if the market helps. All right, again, let me just look at the hourly if there is anything that I notice. Yep, again, similar thing. These highs acting as support, huge buyer candle here, consolidating. Yeah, you just want to keep an eye out for this. If you're trading it, you want the stock to break the $170 mark to maybe go over around here as well. All right, that's about all the technical analysis and the news for these companies. If you like this video, please do drop a like, comment down below the stocks that you want me to analyze, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Take care.